space. A wondrous realm full of adventure and peril and, bigness.
How are you? Welcome to this incredibly unnecessarily extensive review of Ratchet and Clank on the PS4. I say incredibly unnecessarily extensive because we are both hardcore crazy Ratchet fans and we just want to do nothing but talk about this game until the next one comes out. And yeah, so basically what we're going to do here is we're going to split this video into 3 parts. We're probably asking why would you bother doing that? Maybe because it's going to be like way too long if it's all one video and no one will sit through the whole thing. Yo.
Hey Keith, the question is you're going to split it into three parts. So I mean, what are you going to split them in? Is it going to be the roots, then the tree, and then the leaves? Or, like, how is this working? Elaborate, please.
So we're going to split this into 3 parts. This episode here that we're talking about is going to be... it's just going to be solely based on the story and gameplay. The 2 key elements of the game. And graphics, of course, because you can't talk about gameplay without talking about graphics. So yeah, that's what this first episode is going to be. So if you want this, then click there on that thing I have on the screen there. Click there if you just want to skip right to that and just skip what the fuck I'm talking about here. In episode 2, the episode that's going to be after this, obviously, is we're going to do a top 10. Because who the fuck doesn't like top 10? So we're going to do top 10 guns, and we're going to compare the guns and compare the game with the original game. I think it'll be interesting to do, and so does Nick. That's why we're doing it together, because...
Yup.
Whatever. So yeah, it's going to be part 2, and then the final part is going to be top 10 cutscenes. I'm going to, again, compare them with Ratchet ones, the original Ratchet ones. So yeah, we're going to have a lot to fucking do here. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy sit back, relax, and try and listen to us. So yeah, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with story.
My name's Ratchet. Up and down. Yeah, there you go. You're a natural.
So the story. So basically, what it talks about is the first journey of Ratchet revisited with fucking 30 frames per second as usual. Smart thing for them to do.
Yes.
Fucking stunning graphics.
Listen, would you rather 60 frames and just have a fucked up frame rate? Like, come on. Think.
Yeah, fuck no. The steady frame rate just solved it. It was such a good game. I mean, a little bit on the gameplay, you could have Mr. Zircon going with the bouncer and the Rhino while everything's exploding behind you and shit, and the frame rate would still be perfectly fine. Like, literally, absolutely fine. While you're switching the hollow guys on and off, walking. Yeah. Like, it's fantastic. So anyways, the story basically takes place on, all across the Solana Galaxy. Did I say that right? Yeah, I did. The Solana Galaxy, which is where the original first game took place. And basically what happens is kind of an alternated story told by the perspective of Quark, which in a sense kind of doesn't make any fucking sense considering he was not there for like 75% of it. But it was still very entertaining. So
we should mention this is based on the movies storyline, which is based on the first game storyline. So basically, as they said in the trailers, the movie based on the game, based on the game based on the movie, based on the game. So yeah, this is the movie storyline, which the movie is based on the first game storyline, lightly based on it. Well, kind of moderately based on it. And then this is
it's about 50-50.
I'd
say it's about 50.
Yeah, about 50-50. And this is the game for that storyline. They don't completely spoil the movie though, because they don't put I'm not going to even say that, but yeah, they don't completely spoil the movie, which I kind of like, because it does make you at least it gives you a reason to actually go see the movie now, which I am looking forward to.
Right.
But yeah, the story. Let's get into our opinions on the story. Do you want to go first?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go first. My opinions on the story are very, very, very mixed. Okay, so this is how it went down, right? At the beginning, when this fucking whole idea was even concepted, I was very negative about it at first. Extremely negative about it. Because I was worried that they were going to completely fuck up the damn story. Like, bad. But what actually ended up happening was it wasn't... The reason why I thought they were going to fuck it up was because I thought it was going to be like a completely different story contrary to the original, which it was not. kept its ground, and it actually gave me a very nostalgic feeling of the first game. A lot of things I remembered from this game that was in the first game, and it just kind of all hit me at once. And it, for the longest time during the game, it felt like such a great game, and I almost preferred this game over the original. And basically, on my take on the whole thing is, it's the story is solid, completely and utterly solid, almost no plot holes, just about, almost like an alternate story that filled the plot holes with different characters, I guess, and stuff of that nature, with different like scenarios that could have happened but didn't happen. I know it sounds kind of stupid the way how I just fucking said that and made an ass out of myself.
Oh no, that's okay. It doesn't sound too bad.
But anyways, it's like all the way up to the last planet, to close to the last cutscene. It was perfect. I was really looking forward.
Where you can spoil it if you want. So I'm gonna put something on the screen here, which is a spoiler thing. If you want to mute it, or actually I'm gonna put a timestamp on the screen. So if you don't want any spoilers, click that and it'll skip straight to the after the spoilers. So go on, spoil it.
Yeah. All right. So here's the spoiler. We're not warning you again. Seriously, fucking leave if you don't want to hear this.
No, don't leave. Click the fucking thing I just put there.
Just click the link. Just click the damn link. You fucking bastard. Anyways, oh, I just went grade A.
What the fuck, man?
Anyways, continuing. So here's the spoiler. So basically, I was really looking forward to fighting Chairman Drek. You know, going along with the story. I mean, the same thing in the first game happened. He went out into space, pretty much. Same thing happened, but just not how it originally went down. It went down with Nefarious, who was oddly enough in the game at all, as a human. He
was a squishy! He was a squishy!
Goddamn squishies!
Nice! Squishy! Oh,
I can't. It's not right.
Without Lawrence, a Lawrence-less Nefarious.
Yeah, he felt lonely. He looked a bit lonely.
Yeah, he really did. And a little green, too. He ended up turning Drek into a fucking sheep with the Sheepinator that you just bought previously in the game. Like, you just bought it. If you had the money, the bolts. And, he turned him into a sheep, kicked him into a fucking ship, and sent him into oblivion.
What the fuck, man?
Like a double
okay, what other game series can you say? Oh, remember that part where he turns your man into a ship and sends him into space?
That's true. Very true. But the thing that gets me is the story was completely fine. Like, I was fine with calling it not a spin-off until that part.
Okay.
Because then when you fight Nefarious, it literally makes everything else makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, I met you once before, and now I'm meeting you again, Nefarious. It's like I'm meeting you for the first time twice in a row. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I actually completely agree. Because that ruins Ratchet 3's story. Because in Ratchet 3, is always referenced that Quark was the one that stopped Nefarious. What I thought they were going to do here, which I'm really upset that they didn't, was which really would have tied in well with the third game, is if Drek came back somehow and you fought him at the end after Nefarious. But Nefarious, when you fight him, he can't see you because Ratchet has a mask thing on, so there's no Ratchet, right? So what you can do... Actually, I'm thinking of a different skin, but whatever. Ratchet... He can't see Ratchet for some reason, right? So anyway, you beat Nefarious, but then Quark comes in and he thinks it's Quark that actually beats him. And then that has their whole rivalry. He's like, Quark, I will get you back! And then he goes down, whatever. And then Drek somehow is back somehow. They could figure out a way to bring Drek back. And then you fight him at the end. And then everything's the same. And everything makes sense. And it gives you more emphasis on Ratchet 3's story.
Or he could have just fought Nefarious with the Hollow Guys.
Exactly. Oh my god, yes. Yes.
That's how it could make sense. Mm-hmm. But anyways, enough of that.
Right, and one more thing about the story is, I think they took a risk with, because I was watching Easy Allies game trailers, because game trailers, and they got closed down now, they reformed as Easy Allies, and they done a review today, and they said Insomniac played it safe, which they did to some extent. He was talking more about the guns, because there's no new guns, there's like 3 new guns in the game. And he said Insomniac played it safe. To an extent, if they were really playing it safe, they would have kept the story the exact same, but they didn't. And that's why, because people, like, you could have to. You have two arguments here with the story. If they wouldn't have changed anything, then people would have said, "Oh, you played the exact same story. What's the point in playing this exact same game?" But the fact is, they did change the story, so that gives you a surprise! Look at that! Oh, I didn't expect that. That's cool. But again, you're upsetting fans because you're not sticking to the canon, which it's a tricky thing to do. But I don't know if they've done the right thing. Did they do the right thing? Because either way, they were screwed.
To be honest, I actually feel that they did do the right thing. I think this game was as good as it was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
As good as it could get. So, I'm going to be very, very, very generous to this story.
Okay.
Just because of the fact that they were in such a sticky situation to make this. So, this is my take on the story. 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. That's very. Yeah, I'd agree. I think I completely agree. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I don't see why. I mean, the 0.5 for the risks I took, and then the story itself was fun, and then I'm taking away 2 points or 1.5. Yeah, 2.5 points because there was a lot of underdeveloped characters, which I'm sure will be more developed in the movie. But in the game, like, you had 3 fucking space rangers that were barely in it. Like, they just talk to you for a sec. And why are you telling me to shush?
Psst. And the shitty fucking female.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. But yeah, let me finish what I was saying. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, the Space Rangers. Who the fuck were they? I mean, they were in it, like, they made a cameo here and there and they said a few shit and that's it. And the shit they said was fucking horrendous. The female voice actors in this game, I'm not being sexist, I'm fucking serious. The female voice actors fucking were atrocious.
To kind of step into this existing franchise, something that's both a video game and now a movie. What was it? I mean, were you even familiar with Ratchet and Clank?
I was familiar with it, the name mostly. My brother plays video games all the time, and I don't love video games, but I like to watch them, which is really weird. Like, and when I saw this, and I did a little bit of research, I watched some YouTube videos and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, these guys are little badasses.
It was the worst voice acting in Ratchet's history, I think. What?
I agree.
Holy cow!
Yeah, exactly. That's the line that got me on that fucking Frozen Planet. It was just like, I had to hear it like 3 times. And it was just like all of a sudden, out of the blue, like they were just like, Ratchet,
yes.
Can you go and get that thing? Holy cow! It's like, Jesus.
I don't know. Maybe it's because they're movie actors and they're used to movie acting, and maybe game acting is different. But I don't know. But yeah, that's another reason I'm taking the points off. But other than that, 8.5 out of 10 is fair. Yes.
No one else can see me right now, but Keith can. Right? How does this look in a movie? Holy cow! I mean, that looks stupid.
Troll 2. But yeah, let's get the gameplay.
Alright, so Keith, start us off.
Right then, the gameplay in this is pretty much like every other Ratchet game with tweaks, a lot of tweaks. You still have your upgradable weapon, like in the... Okay, let's compare... I'll compare it to the first one. In the first game, no strafing, no upgradable weapons. Very different weapon. We're going to get to that in another video, but I was going to say here, very different weapons. What else am I missing here? Oh yeah, okay. So let's just get to the new mechanics. New strafing mechanic, I like. It's from Nexus, which I didn't like in Nexus for some reason, but I like it here. I don't know what... I went back and played Nexus as well, and I liked it in Nexus last time I played, so I don't know, maybe my mind was fried or something. But yeah, the new strafing mechanic, I kind of like it, but I do wish I gave it a choice to have the old lock strafe mechanic. They do have a lock strafe option in it, but it's not good. It's like, your wrench is always like fucking... Ratchet is always holding his wrench as if he's about to throw it if you put it in lock strafe, so they didn't really... That was really in on it. They fucked up lock strafe, that's what I'm trying to say. But strafing is good. It works like pretty much any other third-person shooter. And yeah, it worked fine. It was fine for the game. Animations are nice, although animations are a bit too... The game is a bit restrictive at times, I should say, because I was in that place where you meet Skid. What the fuck's that planet called again?
Iridia.
I was in Iridia, and I was jumping off one of the platforms, and I wanted to jump off the platform over the wall into the sand place. I jumped off it and I couldn't go through the wall. It was an invisible wall, even though there's clearly room to jump out of it, and that kind of annoyed me. But it's only a tiny little nitpick, but things like that really get on my nerves. The animations you do get are a tiny bit restrictive. I mean, it's like a second of an animation where you can get stuck in one. I don't know if you noticed that, but only with your wrench really, but the guns and all, it's all perfect. And then again, it's Ratchet, pretty much just Ratchet from there on. If you've played a Ratchet game before, you've played this game. Other than the shoot mechanic, it's the exact same as every other Ratchet game. Why are you telling me to keep talking?
Because I have to go and change the chair because I'm sitting on a chair that's about to fucking split in half.
I'll just pause it.
Okay.
So, seeing as Nick has found his new chair, we can continue talking about the gameplay. Basically, as I was saying, if you've played any other Ratchet game before, you've played this one other than the new shooting. That's about it. You just still have the incredibly addictive fucking upgrading system. Raretanium is back from a crack in time. No, not a crack in time. Raretanium is back from Tools of Destruction and Nexus. It works the exact same as it does in Nexus, so if you've played Nexus, you know what that is. If you played the crack in time, it's slightly different. Or not a crack. Why do I keep saying the crack in time? In fucking Tools of Destruction, it's slightly different to that. I'll put footage on the screen to show you how different it is. And that's pretty much it. And Hero Mode is back again. Not Hero Mode, I think Challenge Mode is back again. And again, as addictive as ever. That's pretty much all I have to say about gameplay. Nick, you go.
Pretty much, you nailed it on the head. I mean, I pretty much just the exact same feelings that you do. If I was to put it into my own words, it would be the gameplay is very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very smooth.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
It's very responsive too. Very, very responsive. It's definitely really good. And the only thing that I have to say about gameplay is the first thing you notice when you first play it is the fact that the game runs at 30 frames per second. It is the first thing you notice. But as you play it, you just get used to it and your eyes adjust. And you just don't notice it anymore because it's so fucking stable.
30 frames don't bother me at all. Because I would much rather if developer just, like, instead of doing 60 frames, because Naughty Dog just talked about this, about Uncharted 4, the whole debate about that. It's like, if they run a game at 60 frames a second, they have to put so much fucking resources in to making it stable. If they just put it at 30 frames, they don't have to put much resources, they can fucking add so much more shit to the game if they do that. So I'd much rather if developers choose 30 frames over 60 frames. Unless there's a superior version they want to put out, and if they want to put out a superior version on PC or whatever, let them do it. But if 60 frames is limiting the game, then fuck it, just run it at 30, because I personally don't give a shit.
Same. A lot of games would have been a lot better if they just ran at 30 frames per second, to be honest. So that pretty much sums it up. Gameplay, honestly, to be completely brutally fucking honest with you, I loved the gameplay. In Ratchet standards, I'm not going to give it another 10 out of 10. I'm not going to do it.
Because it is like... Ratchet 3's gameplay is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh, yes.
That's the only 10 out of 10 because that was when they perfected it. But then they used that perfected engine and used that perfect... Well, not engine. Perfect... Well, it is a perfect engine because the goal engine is not Jak and Daxter's engine. What else could be more perfect than Jak and Daxter's engine? But... that perfect gameplay they had for Ratchet 3, they brought over to Tools of Destruction, they brought over to Crack in Time, and they brought over here and tweaked it a bit. And I'm not going to give it another 10 because they had it perfect again. So let's just give it a 9 because I'm giving it a 9 because it's fine. It's Ratchet, but like it's getting like they're sticking to the formula again. They're playing it safe.
Stale.
Yes, I wouldn't say
a little bit stale.
Yeah.
It's like biting into a fucking piece of popcorn after it's been sitting there for like an hour.
Still nice, but a bit stale.
Yeah, still nice, but a little chewy.
Yeah.
Not as crunchy as it was before. Anyways, enough with the analogies. So 9 out of 10, and I do believe that concludes this fucking.
We didn't talk about graphics. So, I mean, if you've seen gameplay, you know what.
Why is that necessary?
It's 10. The graphics are 10. Like, come on.
Fucking 10 out of 10. It's one of the best looking games on PS4. Period.
It is the best looking game on PS4, period. It's one of the best looking games ever made. So,
Okay, yeah, I have to absolutely agree with you because I was quite... The environment may not, like, run with you as well as it could, like, with moving grass as you run or dirt flying up as you run or stuff like that, but...
And lack of little details like fucking footprints and all, but you know what I mean? Fuck it, nitpicks.
You really don't notice it because half the fucking time you're not even on the ground.
And half the time you're just looking at fucking around you, how beautiful the game looks.
Yes, really. So, graphics, 10 out of 10, obviously. In fact, I would go as far as to break the scale and say
Don't
11
do
out
that.
of 10.
Fuck off, don't do that.
I'm breaking the scale, bitches!
Yeah, 10 out of 10, graphics, incredible. And that wraps up this episode of, what the fuck did I call this game? Totally Unnecessarily extensive Ratchet and Clank review.
Definitely not it, but...
Whatever the fuck I'm calling this. So yeah, that's episode 1. If you enjoyed it, thanks for enjoying it. And stay tuned for episode 2 and episode 3. I hope you enjoyed them too. If you're watching this anywhere else, then yeah, thanks very much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one, like I said.
Badasses. Badass. No badasses. No badasses. Little badasses.